Our special guests this morning are from our Multicultural Community Resource Center, the Executive Director, Joanna Cherpak, Mary Schmidt, the Healthcare Navigator, and Jordan Cherpak, the Tobacco Cessation Educator. Good morning and welcome, everyone.
Good morning.
Joanna, we'll start with you. Let's remind everyone how the Multicultural Resource Center began.
Right. We started in 1975 as the Hispanic American Council. Our premise then was to serve the Spanish community. We were located at the Spanish Apostolate. And then through the years, we started taking on a refugee program. That was in 1997. So in 2009, we significantly changed our name to the Multicultural Community Resource Center to encompass all the cultures that we serve. But our grassroots are still the Spanish and Hispanic community.
And you actually have moved locations as well.
Right. We are now, we have been there for quite some time, but we're located on East 10th and Ash Street. We're in the Lower East Side. We've been there for quite some time, but that's where the community we serve lives.
And actually, it's a beautiful building. Mary, you were just saying that many people don't realize it was a former school.
Right. Penn School number 13, I think.
Right. Our building was built in 1880.
Oh, my gosh. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of space in there, and good thing because you do a lot there.
Yeah, and it's a very kind of intricate. We've kept some of it significant to the school. We actually still have some of the blackboards that are the original blackboards from 1880. We've kept them preserved just for the authenticity of the building.
That's wonderful. Well, initially, as you mentioned, you were here to help those that are coming not just to the Erie area, but to a whole new culture get acclimated, and you continue that now.
Correct. The populations that we serve are refugees and immigrants. We are not a resettlement agency. Catholic Charities and International Institute are the two resettlement agencies. Kind of the brief version is they're the ones who meet the people at the plane when they come into this country. They get them acclimated up to the first year, and then we're kind of like part two. After that first year, then we have them up to 5 years, and we help them, get jobs, we help them learn English, we help them get acclimated to life in the United States.
And we should mention, especially now while everyone hears so much about refugees, there are a lot of misconceptions about the population we have here in Erie, what the definition is of refugees and immigrants, and what their situation is once they get here.
Right. The simple definition of a refugee is someone who is kind of misplaced from their country because of various reasons. It could be religious persecution. It could be social persecution. Basically, their country doesn't want them. So we, as the United States, we're a humanitarian nation, have a contract with these countries to bring in so many refugees and have them settle here because they cannot live in their countries. Now, the difference with an immigrant is someone from a foreign country who chooses to come to this country. Currently, right now, the populations we serve in terms of refugees are the people from Nepal, their Bhutanese descent, and we also now are starting to get an influx of Somalians. We had Somalians a good 10, 15 years ago, and now their country's in turmoil again. So the United Nations has decided with President Obama that we'll take some of those folks in. There has been a lot of controversy about the Syrian refugees. I might as well mention that. There is a great vetting process for refugees to even come into this country. I constantly get asked, do we have any Syrian refugees in Erie? We do have a few. They were not clients of our agency. They actually went through International Institute and Catholic Charities. As of right now, we do not have a flux of Syrian refugees. If we get a flux of Syrian refugees, we're talking 2 years out. Because of the vetting process and all the procedures that they need to go through before they can even step on American soil, we're not going to see these folks. So a lot of the fear that people have that there's Syrian refugees converging on us is incorrect. And a lot of them are not terrorists like a lot of people think. I mean, there's a lot of education that needs to be done, but I hope that kind of eases some of the fears that they're not coming in and ISIS isn't coming in with them. Right at this point in time, no, that's not happening.
And with regards to the other refugees that are coming, the Bhutanese and the Somalian refugees, and as we said, it is true their country doesn't want them there because there's turmoil, but they also are looking for a better life. I mean, basically, horrible, terrible things are happening in their countries. They still have war-torn areas. They still have terrible people doing terrible things to all of the people who live there.
Well, and also, too, one thing about refugees is that, I don't think people understand is that they don't ask to come here. They're assigned to the country that they need to go to. We're one of the 5 top resettlement countries in the world. There's Canada, Norway, Australia, United States, and France. So, they're kind of like divided out and said, you're all going to the United States. So they have no clue. I mean, they hear stories about what the United States is all about, and then they get here and it's culture shock because of, what they were living in, and now they're in where they have to follow a whole new set of rules. They have to live differently than they're accustomed to. And I think that would be just, in my mind, it would be so difficult if someone said to me, you're not allowed to live in the United States anymore. You need to move to a different country. I would be like, wait, this is my home.
Right.
So they're being plucked from their home, put in a place they have no clue about, and told to go on, live your life.
Right. And so it's sort of a two-sided coin. On one side, it's true, if they had their druthers, they'd rather have a peaceful, lovely place that they can make a living that they grew up in, they were born in. However, that's not the case. So on one hand, they don't want to leave their home and go somewhere else, but on the other hand, they're still grateful for coming to a place where they don't have to worry, in theory, about the safety of themselves and their family.
Exactly.
So once they get here, even if it's not something they had planned on doing, they still want to make a life for themselves here and be a part of the culture and be someone who can really live their life as best they can. It's true.
That's correct. And they contribute to community just like the rest of us do. I mean, they get education so they can get jobs. They buy homes. They buy cars. They contribute to the community just like everybody else. And I think that people need to step back and realize that the United States, this is a melting pot.
Right.
And we're all immigrants or descendants of immigrants or refugees.
Right.
So these people are, in a sense, really no different than what perhaps our grandfathers and grandmothers were. So, what makes us different makes us the same.
It's true. And I think the other misconception is that they come here and everything is given to them and they don't have to do anything but sit back and do nothing. And that couldn't be further from the truth.
That's not true at all. I mean, they are given some assistance for the first 8 months that they're here. I mean, you got to realize that you have to help them because they come off the planes with just the clothes on their back. So, being a humanitarian nation, that's what we would do. We would help them. But then that's what we do. We teach them how to do things. We teach them how to speak English so they can get jobs, so they can do everything for themselves. I mean, the Europeans came about 20, 25 years ago, and we have so many from the European culture that are very successful community members. The Bosnian community specifically has a lot of successful people. They run businesses, a very integral part of the community, and they give back to us, which is really wonderful because they know that we were the ones that helped them when they first came in the country, so they turn around and help us. So it's kind of full circle. Yeah,
so can folks find out more information about the countries that people come from and things that happen via your website or by stopping by?
Yeah, we have a lot of that information out there, and every month we put out an e-newsletter, which we do put on our website once it's been published. But anybody can email us and ask to be on the distribution list for the e-newsletter. But yeah, we talk about the countries that they come from, and we learn a lot of the information firsthand right from our clients. I mean, they educate us while we're educating them. So it's a two-way street. And I also welcome anybody to call and come down for a visit. It's amazing. I've given numerous tours at our building. And when we're done, the one word I have heard the most in all the tours I've ever given is, wow.
Right. I can't imagine all the things that you're trying to accomplish in such a short amount of time in a place that the climate isn't the same, the language isn't the same, the customs are not the same, nothing is the same. Well, we're going to take a quick break and let everyone know how they can get more involved in some of the programs you offer when we return with the Multicultural Resource Center on North Coast Views. We're back with our special guests from our Multicultural Community Resource Center, Joanna Cherpak, the Executive Director, Mary Schmidt, the Healthcare Navigator, and Jordan Cherpak, the Tobacco Cessation Educator, which brings us to specific classes and programs that are not just open to the folks you serve, but also to the community.
Correct. We are open to anybody who chooses to use them. One of our program is our child care program. We serve children 6 weeks to 12 years. We're open at 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. You can drop the children off before you go to work and pick them up after work. If you qualify for DPW subsidy, and we do have private pay. So
okay, great. So, Jordan, you're involved with that program, not just during the day, but after school. And how have you seen the children that are coming?
A lot of the children that we come in, it's kind of really interesting to see how they start off, because a lot of them come in and they don't understand English and they're struggling. I mean, most of them are in schools and they're like English language learners. So they're usually put off in separate classrooms and they have to go through separate classes. They have to learn the English language before they can even get into math, science, that kind of thing. So it's always interesting to see how, when they first come to us, and then just months later, how much they actually have learned, and it's incredible, because they usually learn a lot. I've seen how many kids I've worked with, like, just 3 months later, they're already picking up a lot of the language, and a lot of it's just because what we work with, we always help them with homework, and just interacting with other children that speak English well. And up in childcare, we have a lot of different cultures. We have some that are American, we have some that are Nepali, we have some that are Iraqi, we have all kinds of cultures there. So
multicultural stuff.
Yes, that's it.
So yes, it's a very multicultural childcare, and I think that's very beneficial too, because it kind of really helps break down a lot of the stereotypes that a lot of children have of like other races, because then they get to meet the other kids and they're like, you're nothing like what I'm told about. I mean, so I think it's a great way to bring down kind of the racial divide too, is by having a multicultural setting.
And the information on how to get involved in this is also on the website?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Everything's on our website or our Facebook page. We have a lot of information out on our Facebook
But
page.
the website is just a shortened version of Multicultural Resource Center, that right?
No,
MCRC. Correct. The website is www.mcrcerie.org. Our Facebook page is MCRC_Erie.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have a chance to
Right.
keep up with everything.
Well,
that's
if
going on
anybody is interested in the child care, they can contact our child care manager, which is Arlene McMahon, and the phone number is 455-0212.
And if in the new year you were thinking you wanted to give back to the community, you have ways for folks to be able to volunteer.
Correct. I would suggest that they contact Carol Brigham, who is our volunteer coordinator, because then she can screen people and see what exactly you want to do and where you would be a good fit, because we have numerous areas that you can volunteer. I mean, we have tutoring, we have, trying to help the adults learn how to read, adult tutoring, maintenance work. I mean, we have all kinds of things that people can help us with.
Okay, terrific. So we started with one of the programs that you have for the very youngest. And as we move through the ages, do you have things available for the teens and youth?
We do. We have a truancy program, but that's through the Office of Children and Youth. That kind of targets more the teens and the high school, but it's kind of targeted more toward our clients, the immigrants and refugees.
It's a
as
truancy
much.
program. It has to do with you not going to school when you're...
Because a lot of when they come over to this country, they're not familiar with the American school system, and that your child needs to be to school on time. They need to stay in school the whole day and then leave at an appropriate time. They don't understand that the child is going to bring homework home and needs to get it done. There's just a lot of cultural factors. So we have, in working with OCY, we've developed this truancy program, and it has been incredibly successful.
Well, let's face it, in many other countries rather, you don't go to school.
True.
And or you have to pay to go to school.
Right,
and you have
right.
to find money to get a uniform to wear to go to school.
Right.
And you don't even have money for food during the day. So how on earth are you going to go to school? I mean, we are so lucky in so many ways that things that we think are a pain in the neck are things that other people are...
Take for granted.
Yeah, they're grateful for. They don't even have access to it.
But I mean, the truancy program focuses on, helping not only the children, but mom and dad to
Right.
get them so that they understand what they need to do. It's a very family-based kind of program. Everybody gets, together and everybody gets, for lack of a better word, on the same page, so that the kids are going to school, trying to succeed in their studies and, going to graduate.
Right. I mean, it's
eventually.
wonderful that it's working out because we have to face it. Anyone who has a teen or a preteen, they know that it can be a challenge to get them to do this stuff when they speak the language and when they know what's expected of them.
Exactly.
Much less teens that have no idea, of these things. It's hard. It's
Yeah, that is
hard
correct,
work.
because a lot of times the parents don't speak English, so that they're not reading the slips that are coming home with the child, or the child doesn't, he passed them off to the parent. So
Yeah.
it's a whole parenting education piece.
Sure, and let's face it, their parents aren't just sitting around at home waiting for the kids to go and come home from school. We talked before, many people's schedules are packed full because they have to try to find employment, go and take classes to learn English,
Right.
and still keep that full-time job and then still raise that family. So there are, other challenges involved. And on top of all of that, your health may be an issue because you didn't have health care in the country. that
Exactly.
you-
Right. Preventative care wasn't there in the camps.
And so enter, trying to make sure they get signed up. And this is the general public as well for health care. That's where you come in as well.
With the Affordable Care Act, you have to have health insurance.
Right.
And as a healthcare navigator, what I do is I help people enroll in healthcare.
Based on the information that they bring to Mary, to sign up for health coverage, they may qualify for Medicaid. We can help them sign up for that.
Right.
As Mary mentioned, we got a grant. We're part of the Consumer Health Coalition, which is out of Pittsburgh. It's 5 organizations, and we happen to be the one that serves Erie County. We're told that there's approximately 24,000 people in Erie County who do not have health coverage of any sort.
Or
And this-
underinsured.
Or
Right,
underinsured.
And we're not
Right.
talking about just immigrants or refugees. We're
Correct.
talking about the
No, no, no.
entire community.
Correct.
Exactly,
right.
exactly. But the good portion of them are the immigrants and refugees, and that's why we were approached to be part of this partnership. But anybody in the community that is looking to meet with a navigator to understand what is available in the marketplace, it's a free program. I stress the word free.
Right.
It is.
So if you call and make an appointment with Mary and Jordan, and Anna Tashenko is our other navigator, you can come in and they'll go through everything with you and try to help you find the best plan, with the means of your budget and in your health and those types of things.
Now, this
Correct.
is not something you can sign up anytime you feel like it.
Correct. Open enrollment for the marketplace ends as of January 31st, which means open enrollment right now, people can enroll anytime that don't have insurance.
Right. So you have 2 weeks to make sure you get that
Correct.
done. Okay. So
Correct.
starting tomorrow morning, you want to give a call and make an appointment so that you can get the information.
Right. Because after January 31st, the marketplace will close. And the only way you can enroll in a healthcare plan through the marketplace is if you qualify for a special enrollment period, like life qualifying events. You lose your health care, or
Lose your job,
you're
or-
married, or yes,
Right,
or you have
right.
a baby. Otherwise, you cannot enroll in healthcare through the marketplace. You have to go through a
have to
private
wait.
insurance
Private,
company.
yeah, and you're going to pay a
correct.
lot more money for
Right.
a private health plan rather
Right.
than going through the
But
healthcare
the marketplace.
marketplace.
Right.
Yes.
Sure.
That would help lower your monthly premium or save on out-of-pocket expenses. In addition to help enrollment in the marketplace, we also can assist with enrollment in the Medicaid and the CHIP program, which is the Children's Health Insurance Program.
So
Tongue tied.
absolutely, you want to take care of that. The sooner the better. And again, if it doesn't pertain to you, but you have someone that you work with, or you're a neighbor
Right.
of, or someone from church that you know, please tell them. That's for
Right.
anybody in the community.
Or
Get
even if
this
you have
done.
questions, I mean, a lot of a big piece of that I've seen is just questions. And
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer there's no such thing as a stupid question.
Especially
Again,
with the new Affordable Health Care Act. I mean, it's really changed how.
right. And the penalties that if
Oh,
you
yes,
don't have
yeah.
health insurance,
Yeah.
just stressing that too.
Yes.
If you do not have health care in 2016, per person, you could be penalized when you do your income taxes, next year in 2017, $695 per adult, $347.50 per child under 18, and
So
a family
if you have
max.
a big family,
Yeah, that's a lot.
Right.
So
And
you
there's a-
pay,
there's
you
a
pay
family
more
max,
as a
yeah.
penalty to not have it than
Right.
to just
Mm-hmm.
get
Right.
it, and it's better for you.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the max they can pay is $2,085 for a family.
is either the 695 per adult or it's 2.5% of
per
your
household income,
Yeah.
whichever's higher.
Whichever's
Wow.
higher.
And the penalties.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you don't want to have to pay the penalties. Just give the Multicultural Community Resource Center a call. You're in the phone book.
455-0212.
Or as we were mentioning, your website, mcrcerie.org. Can get,
Right.
there's a
Correct.
lot of places
Yes.
for the Multicultural Resource Center. We're going to take another quick break. We'll be back in just a couple of moments on North Coast Views. We're back with our special guests from our Multicultural Community Resource Center, Executive Director Joanna Cherpak, Mary Schmidt, the Healthcare Navigator, and Jordan Cherpak, the Tobacco Cessation Educator, which brings us to another program that is open to the entire community.
Right. It's open to all of Erie County, anyone in the area that is a smoker. We got the program as a grant from the Erie County Department of Health. So we're trying to get as many people to quit smoking as possible, because we're trying to promote healthy living for everyone.
This is a challenge because if you smoke, you do understand it's not healthy for you, but it is very hard to quit.
Oh, yes. Smoking is an addiction. I mean, cigarettes, they have nicotine in them, and nicotine is an addictive drug. So, I mean, a lot of people are addicted to that. And a lot of them, I have found out, they're addicted to the nicotine, but also it's kind of like a habit for them. Sometimes they'll just be smoking, and they don't even realize they didn't even need that cigarette. They just kind of wanted it, and it's a habit. So part of our program is helping you understand what is the reason for you actually smoking and what are some ways that we can get you to quit. Like, we can make plans, we can change around things you do.
And this is free.
This is free, yes. To get into the class is free. There's also materials that help you to quit smoking, like we can get nicotine patches, the gum or lozenges through the health department for you. Each program is a series of 6 classes.
Okay.
So you just come to 1 class a week, and then every week we help you get closer to your goal of quitting smoking.
But you can't go 1 week and not go the next week. So once you decide to go, you need to go for the 6
Yeah,
classes
we want you to come
straight.
for all 6 weeks. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. To actually complete the program, you have to be there at least 4 of the 6, but we want you to be there all 6 weeks. So.
My mom did take one of these. You get a certificate that you've done it. You want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But it can also, we were talking moments ago about insurance. It can change the price you pay for insurance
yes.
if you're a
Yeah.
non-smoker.
Yeah,
That's one of the few questions that they do ask.
Yeah, that's a big question now in the healthcare thing.
Yeah.
Is one of the questions, and you can't lie about, is
Right.
do you use tobacco products, yes or no? Because if you do use tobacco products, you're going to have a higher premium. The health companies will charge you more for being a smoker because of all the risks.
So we refer people from our healthcare navigator program over to our smoking cessation.
Sure. I mean, it's a hard situation, that, because I think sometimes people turn a blind eye to just how bad smoking is for you.
And it doesn't just affect the person, too. Secondhand smoke also, their cigarettes, it says they've contributed to 480,000 deaths annually in the U.S., and 42,000 of them are secondhand smoke. So,
Right. If you have children, they are
Yeah.
inhaling the smoke as well from the time they're little.
So anyone around you that, when you're smoking, I mean, they're getting the effects of the cigarette too. And the problem is the people that get secondhand smoke, they're not getting the filtered end of the cigarette. The people that actually smoke the cigarette get the filtered end. People with the secondhand smoke, they get all the toxins and the chemicals. And
But if you really said to yourself, you know what, I definitely want to make a change. It
Yeah.
costs you nothing. And by the way, you get more money if you're not paying for cigarettes.
exactly, yeah. A lot
Exactly.
of people are surprised by how much money they actually save from cigarettes. Cigarettes are like up to like $6 a pack or something like that.
Yeah.
And cartons are like around $40 for it. So it's like, you save that up at the end of the week, you can get a gym membership, and that's a lot of healthier option than cigarettes. So.
And so, if it's something that you've been thinking about, you need to just, jump in with a couple of friends and, go once a week for 6 weeks and see how it goes. It may even take you a couple of times. That's okay. It's free.
Yeah, it takes most people on average about 5 times to try and actually break the habit of smoking. So, yeah, it's not just going to be one easy thing. It may take a couple times, but you can come back to the class more than once, too. So if you cannot attend classes, there's additional resources that you can look into. There's the 1-800-QUIT-NOW, which is the Pennsylvania Quit line.
Okay.
Or you can go to the website, nwpa.quitnet.com.
Wonderful. Well, now that we've had a chance to talk about so many of your free programs, let's face it, we already talked about you're housed in a former school building. You have to somehow pay the bills to keep where you stay warm and lit, and the people that work for you. So where does your funding come from?
A lot of our funding comes from grant sources, federal and state funding. But what the grants don't cover, we have to do fundraising. And we have a fundraiser coming up on May 6th. It is Who Wants to Be a U.S. Citizen? It's a trivia competition. This will be our second year for that. This year it's going to be held at the Prep Event Center, which is 501 West 12th, I believe is the
just there on
correct.
State on 12th Street, yep.
You're right. And this year we're very fortunate to have Dr. Jim Curry, a retired professor from Barron, and his wife Gail as our MC. They have been very active in comedy troupes, and they're very entertaining. So, we're very thrilled to have them as our MCs this year. So we're gearing up for that.
I'm glad that you're saying that now, because clearly the questions you'll be asking are questions that folks need to know if they want to be U.S. U.S. citizens, and most of us that wouldn't know
Exactly.
the things that
exactly.
we have other people from other countries
Right,
know.
right. I'm an American-born citizen, and when I listen to some of these questions, I have to go, I don't know that, which is really kind of sad because I probably did learn it in third grade, but I just didn't carry it on with me.
But the
So,
nice thing is we're giving you plenty of time to get together and have maybe study group parties and
Right.
such, because you do make it entertaining.
right, it costs $30 if you want to enter individually, or if you bring a team of 8, it's $220. So you get a little discount if you bring an entire team. And there's going to be food, there's going to be drinks. I mean, there's going to be all kinds of fun things. There's going to be Chinese auction of gift baskets, and it's a wonderful event. When we did it last year, we had so much fun, and when people left, the first thing they said is, "Oh, we can't wait to come back next year." So
Great.
I've already gotten, as soon as I sent the information out, I've already got people lined up to participate.
This is wonderful. And all ages, you know what I mean? If you're a university student, if
Right.
you are, just a
Right.
person who loves knowledge, and you will have to study. I'm just saying, right?
Yes,
You will
yeah,
have to study.
yeah.
You had a wide array of, like you said, people from college, and then
Oh,
you
we
had
did.
like an older crowd
We
that
did.
got together.
And we actually we have
Oh.
a program at MCRC that focuses on deaf clients.
Deaf
We
and
have-
hard of hearing.
Yeah, they're mostly Nepali, and they actually had a table. They actually
Great.
had their sign language
Correct.
coach with them, and she was helping them, and they had such a good time. So we really talk about multicultural. I mean,
Yes.
we really had the whole gambit. So.
That's wonderful. Well, so to get more information on this and all of the programs, plus some we didn't even have a chance to get to, you go to your website or your Facebook
Correct,
page.
correct. The website is www.mcrcerie.org. Our Facebook page is MCRC_Erie. Our phone number is 814-455-0212, or you can email us at mcrc@mcrcerie.org.
Terrific. Well, I thank you all so much for your time this morning. Joanna Cherpak, the Executive Director, Mary Schmidt, the Health Navigator, and Jordan Cherpak, the Tobacco Cessation Educator from our Multicultural Community Resource Center.
Okay, thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.